Hello, my name is Rex Raoul. I am here speedrunning Final Fantasy Legend 2. This is going to be in the any percent glitchless category, and the route that I am running is 1 human, 2 monsters, and 1 robot. I am joined by MaggieTheKatt, my good friend. Maggie, thank you for joining me on this.
Absolutely, Rex. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to watch you run and get to know this route a little bit better.
Yeah, and I'm glad to have you with me. And before I started recording here, I took a couple random battles outside of the first town and then did a soft reset. We're going to start from the beginning, but this kind of shuffles up the RNG so that we don't know exactly what's going to happen. That's the way that it's fair and what we do in this game to start with. So I think I'm ready to go. Are you ready, Maggie?
Yeah, whenever you are, I am ready to start.
All right, let's get going in 3, 2, 1, go. So we get a little bit of story here at the beginning. We're going to choose a human female as our main character. And her father is going to join us and then give us a piece of magi and then walk out the window because that's what he does.
Yeah, from what I know of the story in this game, Dad is a little bit of absentee father
He's an
at some
absentee
points.
father because now he walked out the window and then years later, it's time to look for Dad. But Mom's like, that's cool. So just make sure you tell your teacher you're leaving.
Be safe. Don't skip out on school, kids.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this school teacher has the authority to let 3 classmates go along with me on this journey for the rest of our lives. So yeah, school pretty important in this town.
This is all just part of our learning, right? This whole adventure, they're going to consider part of our teaching.
Yeah, I guess so. So we are going to take an imp for one of our characters, a robot, and a baby D. And that's going to be our party.
So, from what I understand, the robot is pretty OP, especially in the early part of this run. So, can you talk a little bit about your party composition here and maybe why you don't take more than 1 robot?
You're not wrong that the robot is the most broken class of the game. There's a couple reasons why we don't take more than 1 robot. The first is you don't really need more than 1 robot. 1 robot is enough to get you through almost the entire game. And that's just all there is to it. The other thing is the robot's power gets increased with whatever they have equipped. And so if we wanted to try to outfit more than 1 robot, that would take a lot more money, and we just don't want to deal with any of that.
Okay, yeah, so from what I know, this is actually the Final Fantasy Legend games originally they were part of the Saga series, and when they got localized in America, in the US, they got the Final Fantasy name just because Final Fantasy was more known to the US audience. But the Saga series has a pretty different leveling or scale for how you gain stats than your standard Final Fantasy games, and so robots gain all of their stats from the equipment that they wear. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. So if you the rapier that the human woman that we start with has equipped right on the robot, that's going to increase the robot's agility, and then so different weapons, the damage that they do is based on different stats. And so what we're going to do is focus on agility weapons for the robot and get the agility super high. So it's going to do a lot of damage, and you'll see before too long. In the first couple worlds, though, you saw that our teacher, Mr. S, joined us and took out that baby Wyrm there. In the first world, our 5th characters, who are guest characters, are going to be doing all the damage. We're not going to fight any fights that aren't bosses. And, I mean, that's just, kind of standard RPG things.
Yeah, so you've got a party of 4 here, but for a large part of the game, you actually have a 5th person with you, and you do actually get to control that 5th character, which is which is pretty nice. In some games where you get like an NPC, you don't always get to control them.
Exactly. So yeah, you get to choose what they do in battle. You also can technically equip them with weapons and stuff, but you can never unequip them. So if you want to give them something, just know that you don't get it back.
Oh, I see. Okay. And so yeah, the robots will get their stats strictly from the weapons or equipment that they have equipped, and then humans gain stat ups based on the equipment that they have equipped at the end of a battle. Is that right?
Well, it's kind of what they do in the battle. Like they might get an HP increase if they took damage.
Okay.
But if they attack with a strength-based weapon, then they could gain strength. If they attack with an agility-based weapon, they could gain agility. If they use a magic spell, their mana could increase. So yeah.
And then the monsters will evolve based on what kind of meat you give them, which we already have seen at least one piece of meat out there that I know you didn't take it, but that's I know where a lot of the RNG comes into this run, because you're going to want to get specific meat drops from specific fights to feed to your monsters to evolve them into very specific forms.
That's exactly right. And there's only going to be a couple of times throughout the game that we're actually going to eat meat, and we'll have to farm those meat drops when they come.
Yeah, and as we can see,
it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and as we can see, there's a lot of just running from the random encounters, and that's based on the is it the whole party's agility or just the robot's agility?
It's the whole party's agility, but one of the things that's a little bit glitchy about this game, just in general, if there's a party member who is either dead or not present, it counts as maximum agility for that character. Oh, these guys are taking some magi, so we better follow them. With that agility, if a character is knocked out, you're guaranteed to be able to run. But when I say a character missing, that includes that 5th character spot. So the fact that we only have 4 characters right now means that we are guaranteed to be able to run from any monster right now.
Oh, that's pretty fancy.
Yeah, so the only times we're not going to be able to were when Mr. S was in our party before. We're going to get a 5th party member. Key is actually going to join us. After this segment right here, we're going to go back and talk to her again, and she's going to join us. And then there'll be times where we can't run because we have a 5th character.
Got it. Okay. Or if you get a character knocked out during a fight, like if you couldn't run and somebody gets knocked out, then you are guaranteed to run after that knockout?
Exactly. So basically, if we get into a fight that we can't, and we can't run, we're going to be hoping that our human character in the first position, who's going to get the most of the attacks, is going to be knocked out. And that's kind of why we unequip her armor, because we want her to take more damage so that she can get knocked out.
She's basically the meat shield for the majority of the game here.
Yeah, she won't be doing anything in battle until at least 2/3 of the way through the game. And really, the monsters are pretty useless until then, too, so... the 5th characters do a lot, and the robot does the majority of the heavy lifting, without a doubt. Oh, I gotta do a little bit of equipping here. You get that whip, that's an agility-based weapon, and now we also got some magi. And you can equip magi to characters... Oh, I want to get the right one, speed. This way. Okay. That mana won't come into play until much longer in the game, but since we're in the Magi menu right now, might as well get it over with.
And Magi increases characters' stats. Is it kind of like... explain the Magi, how it works in correlation to character stats.
Yeah, having the speed, Magi will increase that character's agility, so it'll make them be better with dealing damage with agility-based weapons. The mana is going to be for magic-based weapons, or in the case of monsters, any attack that uses the mana as a part of the damage calculation.
Yeah, okay. And the Magi is also very heavily based in the story too. Is there 77 of them total? At least that's what you believe at the start of the game.
Yeah, 77 is what they say. And then with that, you can become a god is kind of the lore. Here, we do not want to touch any of these zombies walking around, otherwise you get into a fight that you can't run from.
Oh, okay. Those are like kind of forced encounters. Okay.
And then they move faster than I'd like them to.
Yeah, those are like dancing zombies based on how they're moving around. And the 77 Magi, are they all required? Like, you have to find all of them to beat the game?
You have to find all of them. And the game has, like, a gating mechanism. There's several different worlds that we'll go throughout the course of the game. And in each world, there's a door at the end of it that you can't open until you have enough Magi to get through it.
Got it, okay. Kind of heavy encounter rate coming through here.
Oh, there is a heavy encounter rate in this game. That's kind of, it's one of these things, it's a Game Boy game, so it's not as huge an adventure as some of the other RPGs of its time, but they can make it feel as long with all these encounters.
Yeah, for sure.
And when I was a kid playing the game, I fought all these random encounters. And, I love the sprite design, the music in this game is great, this is not a bad game to play casually. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, and we were talking about before we started here too that the speedrun as well is also very easy to get into, especially compared to a lot of RPG speedruns.
Yeah, it's really accessible. There's a nice community, and I use a really well-made guide to get through this route and everything like that, and so that really kind of helps learning this. There's only a couple things that I do that are outside of the guide, and one of them is it kind of recommends that you eat the meat from the baby worm right at the beginning, but that forces you to do yet another meat grind later in the game too, and I just don't want to deal with that. And the advantage that you get from transforming a monster this early isn't that huge. Now we gotta fight the boss, the Rhino. This thunder from Key should take it out. Oh, I'm not quite there. That's okay, though. It's too late. Banzai! Now we gotta get these last 3 pieces of Magi here.
So I assume with the Magi, none of them are actually permanently missable.
Right. As far as permanently missable things, this game actually is pretty good with that, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
Okay.
So now Key leaves us, which means we can run away easily again.
So the NPCs are kind of almost double-edged because it's nice to have them because they usually are pretty powerful, but when you have them, it's harder to run away.
Exactly, especially the early part. When we get later in the game, it doesn't matter because the robot's agility is going to be so high anyways that it becomes a moot factor. But okay, this is a kind of a tough area. We're in this kind of desert cloud storm, and we want to make sure that we don't do it. But there's some places where the clouds are moving and some where it's not, and that can kind of guide you to the right place.
Yeah, this is kind of maze-like if you don't know where you're going in here.
Yeah, and it'll push you around if you take the wrong path, and so it's hard to get back on path when that happens. But as long as you know where to go, you can get through it easily. So now this is Ashura's tower. Ashura was the one who had that base that we just destroyed in the first world, and so Ashura's the boss of that. Ashura was also one of the final bosses in Final Fantasy Legend 1. So this is Ashura's return.
And really the first major boss of the speedrun, too. I know we've fought a few other things, like the little Rhino, kind of a little mini-boss in there, but the first major boss coming up here.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be... It's the first boss that we want to save before fighting.
Yeah, Yeah, I know that like if you're just doing a PB, you might not take the time to go into the menu and save because it's only about 15 or 16 minutes in. It's pretty easy to get back here, but for marathon safety strats, yeah, that's definitely you want to save beforehand.
And now we're going to go into the menu after this chest because this is something we actually want to equip. This is a Saber, which is a good agility-based weapon for our robot.
Yeah, several of the items that you pick up, I believe you just picked up to sell, right? Because
yes.
you want to, eventually you're going to need a lot of money to buy items for your robot, and maybe your human too, I think, but you're also picking up a few things here, like that Saber to equip.
And now the Saber should one-shot this woodman. You do not want to eat this meat. And we get someone who wears a hat. This kind of looks like Dad, but Dad doesn't wear a mask. Mask wears a mask.
He's got a mask on, yeah.
Oh, and now we've got all the mask equipment. So, when we fight Ashura, the robot's going to be our big source of damage, but Mask can hold his own in this one too. And there's that encounter rate again.
Like every step.
It is for a while, yeah. Yep, and we see birds and fish in the desert here. I love the enemy designs, though. They're so full of personality. The enemy sprites, they're great.
For a Game Boy game, it's really a very well designed. You said the music too earlier. Like everything is.
I was supposed to get this chest. My bad. There. Lost a little bit of time, but that's okay.
It's that dragon's fault. That dragon made you forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here comes Ashura. Let's save. And here we go. Get some sweet tunes for the boss music, too. And Ashura also tells us that Ki was born with Magi in her. I don't know how that works, but I guess that's what happens.
I mean, why not?
And he shrunk down some of his men to go into... was that my robot that just died? That's rough. So now it's up to Mask to win this. Okay, we got there.
That's why we save beforehand, because if your robot gets one-shotted in the first round...
Yeah, it becomes tough.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other nice thing, too, though, is that you can save anywhere, right? So you can save right before bosses, you can save right before meat grinds, so that you can reset as needed for those types of situations.
Another one of the things that really makes it more of an accessible speedrun, because if you had to save outside the dungeon and then do everything again, then it becomes tough.
Yeah, that's a bit more grindy, yeah.
So now in the story, what has happened is, since Ashura sent his men into Ki to retrieve the Magi in her, what we need to do is shrink and retrieve the Magi from inside her. I mean, that's what we do.
I mean, once again, we're heroes, right? So we gotta do what we gotta do.
Are we the baddies?
Are we?
I don't know. It's kind of weird sometimes how we deal with situations, is all I'm saying.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So this is the tower that connects all the worlds.
Yeah, this is kind of referred to as the Celestial World. And so now we're going to go to the third world. This is Giant's World, because the fairy who lives next to Ki says that the giants should know how to micronize.
That's interesting. Why would the giants know how to make things smaller?
Ah, well, you see, that's the thing. But first, we're going to talk to Dad.
Dude, didn't we just see you with a mask on?
That was Mask. Our dad does not wear a mask. It is weird, because Mask was wearing a hat, and Dad is the only person who wears a hat, so... I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something strange going on there. I will tell you that is never resolved. Like who Mask is or whatever.
Definitely not Dad, though, because Dad doesn't wear a mask.
Exactly. So basically, this shopkeeper sells giant goods, and he got it by sneaking into the town because Johnny told him where to go, so now we gotta go talk to Johnny.
It's your standard JRPG fetch quest.
Kind of, yeah. But we don't need to know anything about, like, how do we know that that guy sells giant goods? We don't need to trigger that. But here's Johnny. He says the obvious square that sticks out is what to do. Do you think I'm a giant? Yes. Well, that's not true. So the implication is Johnny is a micronized giant, and that's how the giants know how to micronize, I guess.
Okay, sure. Well, we're gonna go with that.
So now we're going to sneak into Giantstown and see if we can find out how we can shrink ourselves to go into Key's body.
And there's a very conspicuous looking door up here, I think. Coming up, right?
It is very clearly a different color than everything else. But you can't go through there until you talk to Johnny.
It's a secret door.
Yeah, very secret, very secret.
Very secret, yeah.
There's that encounter rate again.
You would think that the giants would want to keep these things out of their homes.
Well, none of the giants are actually in the giant town.
I mean, this is clearly a giant's home. Those were some giant-sized beds that we just walked past.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the giant's town, but there's no giants.
There's like a bunch of fiends and terrorists.
Yes. And so this is our micron here, and that's going to be how we shrink. So now we've got what we needed, and we're going to go back to Key. And unfortunately, there's a lot of times in this game where when you get a certain plot point that requires going to a different world, the game will automatically just take you there. Like after we completed Ashura's Tower, it warped us right back to Key without having to walk there. But this time we have to hoof it.
Yeah. You eventually get a Magi that acts like a warp spell, right?
Yeah, but that's very late in the game, and there's only like two worlds left at that point. So we actually only use it once throughout the entire game.
Oh, yeah. It's too bad that you don't get a little earlier, but
it does let us skip about half a dungeon, though, so that's nice. Okay, here we are back in First World. But before we go and shrink to Key's body, we do need to make a pit stop in town here.
yeah, we're going to be selling a bunch of the stuff that you've picked up along the way here.
Yeah, and what do we want to sell our money for? To buy a submachine gun. That is correct.
This is definitely a fantasy game with lots of gods and fiends and monsters, and then robots with submachine guns. Yep.
Yeah, and so the key is to start at the micron and go up, because the game will let you sell the micron. But so that it's not like an unmissable, you can pick it up again in the Giants world. But
yeah, you'd have to hoof it all the way back to the Giants world and go through all that stuff that we just did again.
Exactly. So
yeah, that's
make
not,
sure you don't sell
ideal.
it. Okay, and that submachine gun that we sold everything to afford and buy, we are going to use in one battle and one battle.
Well, your robot wouldn't be a robot if he didn't get to equip a submachine gun for at least a little while.
Okay, here we go, into Key's body.
And I haven't actually bothered to look, but my understanding is that if you actually look at a map of Key's body, it's actually pretty accurate like anatomically accurate.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's,
Like for a Game Boy game.
yeah.
Like you can see where her arms are, and you can see where her fingers are, and you know.
Yeah.
And I like how there are like, you know, plasmas and I don't know, amoebas and things that would sort of make sense to be in here inside a human body, but then there's also like
Terrorists and rhinoceroses.
terrorists and T-Rexes. Yeah, exactly.
Like, no wonder she's knocked out with all these creatures running around inside her.
I was gonna say those must all be Ashura's minions doing their thing.
Yeah, I think that's the story-wise, but man, Ashura got his hand on a lot of Micron. There's a robot of terrorists.
Yeah. Look at it. She's got miniature robots and miniature terrorists running around in her bloodstream. 4 key.
So we need to go through both hands, both feet, the heart, and the stomach, and then we can go into the brain, which of course is at the very top of the head.
Yeah, we're mostly picking up. It's mostly Magi in here, right? Is there any equipment that you're actually picking up?
There's no like loot or anything. Just in each one of those body parts, there is a piece of Magi, and so the doorway to the brain is one of those doors that's gated. You need to have enough Magi in order to enter it. So once again, you can't miss Magi.
It's gated, like you can't miss it. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
I guess technically you can miss it, you just aren't progressing if you miss it.
No, that's true.
You have to keep looking until you find it.
This seems like it would be a rather confusing dungeon if you didn't have a map and you didn't know where you were going. It's pretty big.
It is pretty big, but I think the fact that it's kind of shaped like the human body makes it a little bit easier to, like, visualize in your mind where to go. Because if this was just like random tunnels and dead ends and everything, it would be a lot easier to get lost, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
But here it's like, oh, I'm clearly going down to the foot. So I know, I can think like, okay, this foot done now. Knowing which finger and which toe the Magi is in, though, that's something. Luckily, the guide has it so that we can remember, but that's one of those things that you gotta know exactly where to go, because otherwise it's just more dead ends with nothing in there, because you're not even getting
more encounters. Yeah, fortunately we are able to run from everything in here. You don't have an NPC with you, I don't think, right?
Nope.
Yeah, so at least we can run from everything easily, but yeah, the guide is very well laid out, and that just helps with what we were talking about earlier with the accessibility of this speedrun. The game itself is fairly user-friendly, but the guide makes the speedrun even easier, so... And this looks like you're in the intestine area. Is this the intestine area?
Yeah, this is the intestines, and then we'll get to the stomach above this. Now, when it gets to the end of Key's body, we are going to do our first meat farm of the run. Now, there's another route that's pretty similar, but has a couple important differences, where you only have one monster and you have 2 humans instead. And in that one, you don't have to farm meat here. So, like, on the best of best runs, the 2 humans route is going to be faster than this one. This one's going to be a bit more consistent, but is never going to have the great times that the other one has. So, I'm not playing for world record. I'm playing for, having a good time and completing a full RPG in about 2 hours.
Yeah, and this one seems like it would be a little bit safer for marathons as well, because with this meat grind you get the Chameleon, right? Which allows you to avoid surprise attacks later on.
Exactly, yeah. It's I don't think it's the next world. It's the one after that. I think is where the surprise attacks can really start coming, and the fact that the two humans route has to deal with those means that it's dangerous. You could get party wipes and everything like that when you have to deal with surprise attacks. But that's something that's not going to be an issue in this particular route.
Yeah, so I could see, playing that if you were going for like a PB or a world record or something and just kind of relying on the RNG and then resetting if you have to. But yeah, I would say definitely just for consistency or marathon safe strats, this one seems to be a little bit safer.
Well, and resetting, that's kind of that's something too, like, according to the rules of this particular category, you can't do a reset out of out of a random battle. If it's a scripted battle or a boss battle, then you can reset out of it. But if not, the game has a mechanic for what happens when you die, and you have to go through that if you die in a random battle. So that's something to just keep in mind, but it's not something that I'm going to have to worry about here.
Okay, yes, we're coming up on the... How do you say this?
I say Phagocyte? I don't know. But we're going to save because we have to farm some meat here. And this is the one fight that we're going to use that submachine gun. You gotta remember to equip it, right? Yeah. No meat, so we reset. And since this isn't a random fight, we are allowed to reset out of this one. Oh, not Saber, submachine gun. Okay, we got our Chameleon.
All right.
Last piece of Magi, but of course, the encounter rate has to be like this.
All you want is your Magicite and your Chameleon. Come on.
And then we don't talk to Key again because, well, she's got nothing important to say, I guess. And Key's part of the story is now done.
Alright, time to move on. This is going on to Apollo's world next, I believe.
Yeah, Apollo. And we'll see what he's up to here. First, we got a Hoof of Passage, so I like to call them out as we're going. So this is Ashura's world. So that I don't accidentally walk too far or too short. This is Giant's world. And this is Apollo's world. Okay, and so why don't we go ahead and say hi to Apollo?
Apollo's got a pretty fancy looking temple there.
Yeah, he is also a long, long man.
He is a long, long man.
Yeah, he gives us a Magi. He doesn't need any more power. This seems like a pretty good dude.
And a riddle? Is this what is he giving us riddles?
Yeah, well, they're clues to where there might be some more Magi in his world, so...
Let's see. I mean, I guess that's pretty nice of him to just give us one and then give us hints to where the rest of them are.
Let us know where to find the others. Like, that's nice.
Right?
Yeah. Good guy, Apollo.
Yep.
Okay, so the first one is this underground volcano, or underwater volcano, so that's where we're going to go next. And like most RPGs, you can just walk around in lava, no problemo. Unlike Final Fantasy 1, though, you can still get random encounters on damaged squares, so that's important.
So we're like totally underwater here, right? Are we don't need anything to breathe?
Nah.
Huh.
We're tough.
I guess we're heroes. Or maybe we're the bad guys and we don't care about breathing, I don't know.
One or the other. Either way works. Those are a couple more pickups for money later. There's
a lot of those from what I recall, because you're gonna need. I mean, you thought the submachine gun was something. We're gonna be getting lots of good stuff for that robot later.
Oh yeah.
Are these the same? We're not fighting the same thing that we fought as a boss. It looked like the same.
They are.
Are they?
Yep.
Okay. I thought it was the same enemy name that I saw there.
They are the same, and it's not that bad because you only get a couple of them here, and you had like a big group of like 7 of them for the boss. So.
Oh, okay.
Now this next dungeon, we kind of lovingly call the Disco Dungeon. If you have any motion sickness, you may want to look away. I will say when you can look again. Sometimes also photosensitivity can be an issue with this one, but you can either tell when the music changes, but I will also mention when we're done. But the floor kind of moves, and since it moves kind of not always the same way that you're moving, it causes some issue with some people. I'm okay with it, but can totally understand if you're not.
It can be a little disorienting, yeah. When I first saw it, yeah, it was a little, that's fun.
Well, this is the second place that Apollo sends us to in his riddle. But
technically, it's called the Cave of Light.
Yeah, well, we call it the Disco Dungeon, though.
Yeah.
But we have to go to the underground volcano before this dungeon, because you need to have the True Eye Magi in your possession. Otherwise, you can't see anything in there.
I'm not surprised at that.
Okay, and this next chest, however, this is one that we want. This is our laser sword, or the lightsaber.
Yeah. Equip that on your robot, like, immediately, because this is what carries the robot through, well, basically the party through for, like, the next 50% of the game.
Yeah, this is... Other than, like, bosses, like, all the mini-bosses and stuff, now the robot can one-shot with that.
And this is the area, too, where you can start to get ambushed if you don't have a chameleon, right?
Don't remember if it's this one or if it's the next one. And I think I might have gone down the wrong one here. Yeah. The middle path here. Okay, now this is the room that has 3 magi in it. So first, second, and fourth have magi, and the third is the exit. But between all the agility boosting equipment and the speed magi that the robot has, that lightsaber is going to do tremendous damage. And we are now clear of the Disco Dungeon.
Alright, so Apollo gave us, what, 3 clues, and this is the last one, I think?
Yep, this is the last one. There'll be 3 more magi in this one, and then we'll be done with Apollo's world. I mean, it's nice that he gave us the clues, but there's like 3 places you can go in this world, so... I mean, He didn't
He was
hinder us.
order. Yeah.
I guess there's 2 towns that don't have magi in them.
And this dungeon also has an actual boss at the end of it.
Yeah, there is a boss at the end of this one. This is also a dungeon where I am prone to make a lot of wrong turns. I don't know what it is about this place, it just wrecks with my mind for some reason. Another treasure that we want to pick up for money. This is the rocket. We are also going to have, very briefly, a 5th character at the end of this dungeon as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she joins, like, right before the boss, for the boss.
Yeah,
and then she leaves after the boss. Yeah. And compared to most of your other NPCs who join you, she's actually not that strong compared to the robot, at least, from what I recall, right?
She's not strong at all. Okay, so we do make a safety save here because if some reason the enemy goes first and one-shots your robot, you can't win this fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lynn can't act as backup here.
Oh, but what? Dad is here? So the implication is Dad has a secret family with Lynn and Lynn's mom here. Which doesn't make A very happy.
No, like, he ran out on us, like, some number of years ago, and then went and made a family with them? That's the implication here, right?
That's the implication. And we are going to buy 2 headbutts and another laser sword. We'll go ahead and get that all equipped right now. Okay, now we're done with... We are thoroughly disgusted by Dad, and so we are getting out of this place.
Bye, Dad. Don't need your help anyway.
That encounter came fast, trying to get a sip of tea. Okay, Apollo's world done.
And now we're going to Guardian World?
Yep.
And the Guardians are an organization that is supposed to protect the Magi, right?
Yeah, protect those, keep the Magi safe from those who would use it to become a god or abuse its power and things like that. And
Dad is supposedly a member of the Guardians, right?
We actually don't know that yet.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
That's okay. But we'll go here, we'll play Heroic Tune, and if you dare to play Heroic Tune on the jukebox, you must be a spy. But here we see Dad in the Guardian base here, so...
Okay, here we go! Now yeah. Dad's a Guardian.
Yeah, you spilled the beans just a couple minutes before the story thing, so we're gonna go down. Okay. We're gonna go down to the base, and that's where Dad's gonna tell us all about the Guardian. He's actually the captain of the Guardians.
Oh dang! Okay.
So yeah, that's our lore dump for this one. But now the Guardian space gets attacked, and so now we need to fight our way out. And our laser sword robot's going to be the way to do it.
So it's under siege by monsters. Do we know if these are just random monsters, or were they sent by someone?
We don't know where they came from. So that's what we've got to figure out. And now Dad's going to join us.
Got it.
But any entity that wants to like any evil force that wants to get the Magi is going to have to come face to face with the Guardians at some point. So it could be anyone, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think we're getting to the point where, even though we've got that fifth party member in, running isn't much of an issue anymore because of how much agility we've boosted that robot.
So are we kind of grudgingly accepting Dad's help here because he's a Guardian?
Well, yeah, and yeah, basically that's it. And now they say that they're holding Lynn hostage in the next world, who is the same girl that we found in the cave. So now we've got to go rescue her.
The one who Dad is supposedly, he went and made a family with her and her mom. Yeah. Well, after he ran out on us.
Right. I'm walking inefficiently, but that's okay.
That's okay. And this is oh, what is this? This is an ambush.
This is an ambush. But don't worry, Dad will blow himself up and give us a Magi and take care of the monsters. So we'll just take Lynn back home here.
Yeah, Dad very dramatically goes and blows himself up to sacrifice himself and save Lynn from the ninja ambush in a ninja ambush world here. Except, oh wait, yes.
But don't worry, we have a robot.
Yeah, okay. The robot can do the job with the laser sword. Apparently better than Dad could by blowing himself up.
Now we're going to talk to Lynn's mom. And so, as you see here, our dad was a friend of Lynn's mom's husband, and so was just like trying to help out a family who'd lost their dad. So he was actually a good guy. We made an assumption and we were wrong.
I guess he didn't actually go make another family after running out on our family. So
right.
So now he went and blew himself up.
Right, and that's tragic, but we've been without a dad for a long time, so I guess
true.
We'll just have to deal with it. And it's like, he's noble and he was doing right by them, but he still did abandon our mom and us.
That's true. That's true. What was he doing? He was probably helping out the Guardians this whole time, right?
Probably.
So now I guess we gotta go help the Guardians out in his place.
Yep, okay. And so now we get to, if you're playing this game casually, this is like the big difficulty spike. This is Venus's world. So, if it's somebody's world, we better go talk to them, see what's up.
I like how the NPCs have the same sprite as you.
Yeah.
You don't even get a unique sprite.
So, Venus, happy that we defeated Ashura, says, "You do what you want. You're probably not going to find any Magi." Okay.
Well, she didn't really help us out like Apollo did, but at least she also tried to stop us.
So it might have started happening in the earlier worlds, but this world for sure, you could definitely get a lot of surprise attacks. So
okay.
because we've got that chameleon, we're not going to get any surprise attacks, and running is going to be no problem.
Yeah, we don't have... Lynn didn't come with us, right? We don't have an NPC.
After we beat the ninja, Lynn stayed with her mom.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, whoops, I have to go into that town. Holy mackerel. Doing it while talking, speedrunning while talking is a lot different than just doing it there.
Just casually, yeah.
We do need to talk to Leon. So basically, Leon loves Flora, who we didn't talk to in the city, but we don't have to yet. But Leon was kicked out because he has a scar on his face, and according to Venus, that means he's no longer beautiful, and if you're not beautiful, you can't stay in our city.
Oh, that's kind of rude.
Yeah, all may not be right in Venus's world.
Yeah, that's, I'm probably gonna go check that out, I guess. But first we're gonna go down into some sewers.
Yeah. Sewers first, legislation about beauty later. But yeah, this world has a couple pretty long dungeons, so if you're playing casually, this can be very difficult, and the boss is not easy.
Yeah, and you really gotta kind of pace yourself if you are playing casually, because all of your equipment has a limited number of charges.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the robot, their charges get cut in half.
That's true. But anytime you get like a full heal, like if you were to use an in or for storyline purposes, it heals you up, all the robot's charges get refilled. That doesn't happen for the human's equipment.
Oh, okay, that's pretty nice.
Or if we had any espers, or as they're called in this version of the game, mutants.
Do monsters have equipment at all?
No, they cannot equip any equipment. What's this? Magi in the sewers?
Maybe Venus was just trying to hide it really well, because she's got this law that says that if people are not beautiful, they're going to get kicked out of the city, and she knew that people wouldn't go down in the sewers because it would make them not beautiful, so that's why she hid all of her magi down here.
Well, that's not being very charitable. Maybe because of her policy, nobody wants to go down here anyways, including Venus, and she just didn't know.
That's true. That's true.
Now, you'll notice in both of those rooms there's one treasure chest I did not open. Those are some of the first trapped chests in this game, and the trapped chests are extremely nasty. Don't deal with them. They will kill you.
They're full of monsters and regret.
Yes, exactly.
I don't even know what's in them because I haven't actually seen anybody open them in a speedrun. I just follow the guide, which says that they were full of monsters and regret.
Yeah, there are a couple monsters from like 2 or 3 worlds in the future.
Oh, jeez.
That was an accidental down, but we need to talk to Flora here, who says that she needs to marry Nils, who's that demon-looking guy over on the right. But, you know, it's been a long time since we walked through a volcano. Let's say we walked through a volcano.
Wait, didn't we already have a volcano? We had an underwater volcano, didn't we?
Yeah, we really recently walked through a volcano.
And now there's another volcano.
Now there's another volcano.
I mean, what's one volcano when you can have 2 volcanoes?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Besides, one was underwater. This one isn't underwater, so this is just a regular, not underwater.
Totally different.
Yeah, it's totally different. Oh yeah, and the notes about this volcano in the guide.
Yeah, it gives you the instruction in our guide. Just walk through like normal.
I don't know if that's referring to like just ignore the damage. I assume it's not referring to the damage tiles because we've already walked over some damage tiles before, or if it's referring to this guy who creeps on you through the whole dungeon.
Or it could just refer to like you're walking through this just like, you know, in your everyday life when you're walking through fish-ridden volcanoes.
Oh sure,
just like you normally would.
While some other random guy is creeping on you.
There is some random guy creeping on us who looks suspiciously like Leon.
Oh, he does.
This room, there's a lot of damage tiles.
I assume they can only bring you down to 1 health. Like, they won't actually kill you.
Yeah, and also this game has the mechanic, you might have noticed it especially in the first world where there were some fights that we couldn't run from. When a character gets knocked out in battle, they're revived for 1 HP after the battle.
Yeah. Yes, that's really nice. Is there even any kind of revival mechanism in battle?
There might be some monsters that get that ability. There might be an Esper ability that does that. But I don't remember. If it is, it's not very common.
Yeah, there's not like a Phoenix Down item or anything that's like common.
Exactly. There's Leon still creeping on us. But yeah, this is the second really long dungeon. Both the sewers and this dungeon are pretty long. Especially compared to the little dungeons in Apollo's world.
Yeah, those are pretty nice. They're just multiple of them, but they're really short.
Yeah.
At least you can... Oh, sorry, at least you can still run from stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... Again, that's just one of those things that makes it so much easier. Oh, Power Magi, that's nice. What? Leon? Like, if he wasn't such a nice guy, I would have laser sworded him so fast. Okay, well, we're done with that, that volcano, so I think... Oh, y'all like crashing weddings? Let's do that.
You can't run from, so at least in these longer dungeons you can still run from stuff.
There will be a time where we can no longer run, but luckily that's not until the very end of the game. Alright, so here we are. Talk to Venus again. We're gonna have the wedding of Niels and Flora. Venus instructs them to love each other, with no objections allowed. But here comes Leon!
Oh boy.
But he's no match for Venus, so... Flora... You also get Burning Blood, one of the best tracks in the game during this time. She cuts herself in the face to scar herself so that she gets cut out. And now it's time for us to intervene. Okay, we are going to actually make use of our X here. because we definitely want our robot to be at full health for this fight. Safety save. Here we go. So, as long as Jay stays alive, the robot can't be charmed, so that's good. He needs to hit about three or four times. If he can stay alive for 3 rounds, then good old Jay there, our robot buddy, will be okay. But if that Blitz Whip hits Jay, that's going to be it. That's a reset. Venus fell. All right. Nicely done.
Oh, nice fight.
Oh, it turns out Venus had a bunch of Magi, too.
Dang, look at all that. Dang.
So now Leon and Flora can be together, and luckily Nils is popular with all the ladies, so he's going to be okay too. So
and you got your power Magi back right at the end there, right?
Yes. Leon doesn't need it anymore.
Excellent.
Oh, whoops. This way. These are one-way walkways here. Okay, next is the notorious race world.
So what's actually... You're racing dragons, right?
Yes. You rent a dragon to race. We want to buy one that's not the fastest. Basically, by buying this, or renting this particular dragon, we bypass one of the required fights. So...
okay.
That's why we take this one. This is actually a... we don't see it in the speed run, but it's a race that's sponsored by Apollo. He's the one putting on this race. And he's putting Magi up as the... Oh, I accidentally hit A to advance the text, but it took me out of my dragon. But Apollo's putting on this race and putting up Magi as the prize. So once again, good guy Apollo.
Yeah, really. He's really helping you out there, isn't he?
Yeah. But this is going to be the place of kind of the most notorious meat grind in the game. And whether it's the 1 monster or 2 monster route that you take, this meat farm looms over both of those routes.
Yeah, is this the only location that you find Watchers?
At this point in the game, yeah, because they're kind of a mini boss here. Where that dragon was where the fight that we skip is. It would be Adamantoise. But these are like kind of end game monsters, kind of presented as mini boss here.
Yeah.
Like this Lamia here. Okay, we only got one. That's good. If there's 4, then you might want to think about resetting. Because they are tough. You only have 1 robot. But yeah, Watcher's in-game enemy. They come up here so we can... Basically what we're doing, we've saved this baby D since the very beginning of the game, and it's going to eat this Watcher meat and become a Watcher itself, so... Pretty crazy. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Safety save. I'm going to try to save on the next 2, and got it. That's good. Okay. Now we're in the Watcher. 3 Watchers we don't want. We want 1 or 2, ideally 1. Or no. Because you fight 4 Watchers and they will kill you.
And what's so special about the Watcher that you want your baby D to turn into one?
Well, they're very strong. What they do is they've got 2 abilities that are really the ones that are most important. They have a beam attack, which is a magic attack. If you remember, we put that mana Magi on that Baby D very close to the beginning of the game, so it's going to be boosted by that. It's an attack that can hit all the enemies in one group, in one formation. No meat drop. Have to do it again. And so it's really good at like crowd control for groups of enemies. It also has an ability called Stone Gaze, which there are actually a couple of monsters later in this, like boss monsters later, that are susceptible to it. So.
Oh yeah, it's like a one-hit kill, right?
Yeah, exactly. So for those reasons, we want to do it. Okay, that's. We can't have the Baby D die because a dead monster cannot eat meat.
Oh no!
Yeah. So we need Jay alive to be able to actually kill the Watcher, and we need Kay alive to actually eat the meat.
Oh. And you only want 1 or 2, so we keep resetting because we're getting formations of 3 and 4. There's 1.
No meat. But yeah, this is all RNG too. Getting A is fine.
We mentioned briefly at the beginning that the biggest RNG in this game is the meat grind, and this is it. Or at least this is part of it.
And I believe different monsters have different percent chance of meat drops, and Watcher isn't a great percent.
Yeah.
Paralyzed. I think Paralyzed can still eat. Well, we didn't get a drop anyways. But yeah, this is one of the things where it can take 30 seconds to get through this. It can take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
This is one of the guess how many times you have to reset out of this fight things.
We could almost do this as like some kind of an incentive.
It could be, yeah. Hey, Watcher's meat. We've got a Watcher.
Alright. And got a bunch of Magi there too.
Yep. But you can see, even with all the good gear we've got on our robot, the robot only has like 314 HP, but the Watcher has over 600. So.
Dang, that was a huge boost for your monster.
Yeah. And now we actually have a second party member that can do things in battle. So that's nice too.
Yeah, so you're not 100% relying on your robot for everything all the time.
Now we're into the world that's kind of the memeiest in this game. We are in Edo. As anybody who knows about this game and its translation and everything like that knows that this world got censored pretty heavily.
Did it really?
Yeah, because it's supposed to be, I believe, opium is what this is all about. But we can't have that, so instead we are going to be dealing with a banana smuggling operation here.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And you see that beam being able to take out all those Hatabatos all at once.
Nice.
Because the one thing that the robot is really strong, but at this point is only good at single targeting.
Yeah. So really good for bosses. Like single bosses.
Yeah, very good at bosses. And since we're able to run from almost everything, that's why we needed that submachine gun earlier. Just because we had a group that we had to take care of. So we're going to buy a cat claw here. And then we are going to... This is one thing that is not in the guide, but it's wrecked me in the past. I buy a safety eye drop here. Because if one of your characters is blind going into the boss, it makes it a lot more difficult.
blind essentially the same as it is in other games where it lowers your hit chance?
Exactly.
Okay.
But that's the place where we're closest to an item shop, so that's why I buy it now. I probably won't need it, but it happened to me once, and so now I prepare for it.
Yeah, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
That's the thing, especially like for like marathons and things like that.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go investigate Echigoya, who's one of the shopkeepers of the town we were just at, to see if we can figure out when the next shipment of bananas is coming in. And this is Echigoya's shop. And we just strong-arm this guy immediately.
Once again, heroes or villains?
Are we the baddies? But it says the shipment's coming in, so we're going to go to the docks here. We see our turtle friend Kami. What up, Kami? And then we're going to go into the boat, which serves as a very short dungeon.
Compared to the long dungeons that we've had, maybe that's okay.
Yeah, the other dungeon, well, there's two, like, really short, kind of inconsequential dungeons, and one quite long dungeon in this world. This world does pack in a lot more story than most of the other worlds, though. Laser sword.
I wonder how your Watcher feels about fighting gazers.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. The Watcher is a stronger version of that enemy than the gazers.
Okay.
So we kind of jumped over them by transforming into a Watcher there. But I don't know how it feels about much. I mean, that Watcher was a baby D for a long time.
Now that tank is going to make your human actually somewhat useful for a while too, right?
Yeah, we are going to have our human be able to do something shortly. Actually, all party members are going to be able to do something, I believe, in the next fight that we actually fight. But first, now we found out that all these barrels, they're just full of bananas. So that's no good. We've got the evidence we need. Now we're going to go to the courthouse.
All these smuggled bananas? What are we going to do about this?
Well, we're going to take it up with the proper authorities. Because Hannah is a good detective.
Okay, well, that seems pretty heroic, all things considered.
So now the judge is like, okay, we'll go check on that ship, and somebody else is going to grab Echigoya. We're going to nail him. And there's our buddy Kami. We finally did it. So here's Echigoya. However, nothing like bananas were found on the ship. Ooh, I think even the judge's men might be on Echigoya's payroll here.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, Kami tried to sneak into Echigoya's and it was no good, so we hide him under the bed. But we make the good excuse that he's probably on a date. So.
Absolutely believable.
Okay, so now, if the law won't help us, we'll go get Echigoya ourselves. Hannah's with us now, so now we're just going to bust right into Echigoya's, take him down.
I mean, when you can't rely on the judge to do it, you gotta go vigilante and just do it yourself.
Yeah, and before we get in here, we've got to do a little bit of equipping. No, you don't get the cat claw, you get the king. You get the cat claw. And then Magi. We're gonna get the Aegis. Oh wait, one more thing to do. I want to have this equipped too. Laser gun. Now we're done. Now this cutscene is one of the best in the game. Somebody's talking inside. Shogun! Ha ha ha! Well then, how are the bananas? You had nothing to worry about. Here they are, all nice and safe. I worked so hard to keep the police quiet. Oh yes, I know that. Please do not say any more. I of course did bring extra GB just for you. Gathering Magi costs a lot of money. Squeeze more money from the townspeople. Oh sir, you are bad. Ha ha! That is a very nice compliment. But not as bad as you, Echigoya. Ha ha ha! Music change. What is this music? Hey, you dirty scums! What? Who do you think you're talking to? Come on, fellows! That is my voice actor reel right there.
I love that whole scene. It's so over the top.
Now we got a bazooka drop. We're not going to use it, but it's more money. That's nice.
Is that like a rare or an uncommon drop?
I don't think I've gotten it before.
Hmm.
So now Taro, Hannah's friend, reveals that he is a guardian. And so now he's going to join us to take down Shogun.
Oh, nice.
Now Shogun's Palace, that is the big dungeon.
So you have the Aegis now, right?
I do.
And what exactly does that do? It blocks certain attacks, right?
Yeah, it does two things. It acts like a shield. Now, I haven't been using shields throughout this run, but if you play casually, if you have your first character use a shield, since the first character gets targeted the most, it's a way that you can... Oh, sorry, I gotta actually think about this fight. You can use a shield, and like physical attacks that target that character can be blocked completely with a shield. And so the Aegis is a strong version of that. Plus, it puts a barrier on your party, which makes you so that you're immune to elemental damage. So it's a very strong. When it's used, it's very strong. So we have that second. That second monster, the Chameleon, can't really do anything. That tongue attack does nothing. So, just having an option to do something useful in battles, because a lot of the strong boss attacks are elemental attacks that hit all members of your party. So if you can avoid that with Aegis, it's real nice.
Is Aegis a piece of equipment, or is it a Magi?
It is a Magi, but... As long as you've got another command that you can do in battle, you can scroll down to the bottom of your command list and use that. There's only a couple of Magi that can be used in battle. The Aegis, there's the Mazamune, and the Heart are the only three that can be used in battle.
Okay.
I don't think I'm missing one. I think it's just those three.
Well, and also I know you had said that monsters can't use equipment, so I was just clarifying. They can use Magi, but they can't use equipment.
Right. But when I said that they have to have another thing, like through the majority of the game, the human didn't have any... The human didn't have anything that they could do in battle because they didn't have any weapons or shields. So just say nothing to do. In that case, even if she had the Aegis equipped, she wouldn't have the option to be able to use that.
You have to have at least some piece of, like, a weapon or something on you.
Come on, I thought it was right. Oh my goodness. This is another dungeon where I make wrong turns, so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Sorry if I'm distracting you.
No, I don't, like, I go by memory for the dungeons, and most of them it's fine, because this game doesn't have too many really long dungeons, and most of the dungeons that are long, there's kind of mnemonic devices you can use to get through them, but for some reason, this one and the Mountain Cave in Apollo's World both baffle me. I think I did it again here. Okay, now you see, this fight was the same as we had earlier, and the way it's scripted... Oh yeah, I should be using it. You've got to actually fight this fight again. It's coded as can't run.
And when you use a Magi like the Aegis, it doesn't have uses like that can deplete.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Oh, I did make the right turn. I didn't make a wrong turn. Oh, I think since this is Stone Man, I think it counts as can't run. Like, you get, at this point in the dungeon, you get any combination of these three enemies, it's can't run. This one I want. Again, we get this 3 times in this dungeon? That is rude. And 2 ninjas, too. We'll go like that. See if Taro can one-shot that ninja. Excellent. You see, the tank also counts as a shield, so the tank can block those attacks, too, so that helps.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We want this. And let's go ahead and put that samurai bow. And we'll do this. And all those drops we got. This is a boss that we do not need to safety save for.
Yeah, he's not much of a boss.
Yeah, he's kind of the
mini boss before the real boss coming up here.
Yeah, he's the fake boss. There's the real boss.
Big Daddy Magnate here.
Yeah, okay, safety save. Now this guy has Tornado, which is the really scary attack that he can do. Like, throughout the rest of the game, anyone who has Tornado is scary. Yeah, for this fight, once I had Taro get blinded by one of those knights in the earlier fight, and if Taro is not able to hit with his Miramasa here, that's a significant amount of damage, especially if Magnet wipes out some of your other characters. But this is going pretty well so far.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's not using Tornado, and that's really nice. Like, so many times I fight this guy, and, like, the first thing he does is Tornado, and wipes out, like, 3/4 of my party.
Yeah, and it's just over. Nice. Nicely done. Lots more Magi there.
Yep. Only 10 more to go, though.
Nice.
So the next world is the Nasty Dungeon.
So are we collecting the Magi to keep the other bad guys from getting them, or are we collecting them to turn into a god?
Like, Dad gave us a Magi, and so we're like, okay, that's what we're doing, I guess. We don't really have a whole lot of a reason to do it ourselves.
So this is called the
Yeah, this is the nasty dungeon. This is a very, very long dungeon with lots of really hard enemies and tons of good loot. But it's an optional dungeon. You get that Magi right at the beginning, and that's all you need in order to progress.
I was going to say, you walk in, you get the Pegasus, which is our warp that we were talking about earlier that lets you warp between towns or worlds.
Yep.
And, like, it's literally, like, the first thing you walk in, you grab it, and then you walk out. That's all you do. So I'm always like, what's so nasty about this dungeon? I never get to see this dungeon in the speedrun.
You see, the fun thing is there's that fairy that's in the, that's right next to the, that's right next to that chest at the beginning, who says that this, who tells you that it's a nasty dungeon.
Oh, that's funny.
And so you go through all of it, and at the end, the fairy is there at the end as well, and says, oh, this dungeon, it was pretty tough, right? It was pretty nasty. And if you say no, the sprite puts you right back in the middle of the dungeon. Like in the exact center of it.
Oh, gross.
So it's a great troll move there. So now we are in Valhalla.
Oh, yes, this is Odin's world.
Yeah, the cool thing about this world is, especially when playing casually, you're probably going to end up dying at some point in the game because they're tough fights in this game. Whenever you die, you get transported to Valhalla and talk to Odin, who says, I'll let you fight again as long as you promise that someday you'll fight me. And then brings you back to exactly the same fight that you just died at, to have another opportunity to take down that battle. And that happens throughout... Oh, wrong turn again. And so that happens throughout the majority of the game. And then once you get through this, you find Odin at the end of here, and then he yaps at you a bit. And then after then, if you die, it's a game over. So it's kind of a cool mechanic that I really haven't seen in any other game. That
is
changes
cool.
Partway through, you know?
Yeah.
Another interesting thing is we did not die. We have not talked to Odin. So we have no idea who he is. So we'll see what happens in this case.
Do we know what the big floating rocks are throughout here?
Big, cool floating rocks. I guess that's just what Odin likes to decorate his palace with.
Yeah, okay. I mean, when you're like the god of revival in this world, I guess you can do whatever you want in your palace.
Well, we picked up Flare. That is actually something that we will be equipping, but not on any of our characters. If you'll remember, I said at the beginning, guest characters can be equipped. They cannot be unequipped. So we'll be using that on a guest character a little bit later. Okay, here's Odin, so we'll make a save here. And so, he just doesn't yap at us. That's the difference.
Does he have a speech that he gives you or says something to you if you've talked to him before?
Yeah, if you talk to him, there's a bit of a cutscene here. Eating B with Governor. I think I got the Aegis off. No, we didn't, so this lightning does hurt us still. Laser sword. See if we can finish this. Governor's our robot, that's rough. Governor's our robot. Okay, gonna have to reset this one.
Oh.
Odin was being rude there.
Ooh, that spear is pretty rude.
Picking up that samurai bow... Ooh, that's... Okay, well, we got our barrier, so lightning isn't scary anymore. But picking up that samurai bow in Ito means the robot now has something that can attack a full target. Now, the Governor's spear bypasses any shields, so that's why it was able to deal... Ooh. I don't think we got it. Odin's being real rude today. Ooh, ice. If he keeps using ice or lightning, we can get there. It's the Governor. That spear is rude. Steam.
Do you get his spear at the end of this fight?
I think it can be dropped.
Like a random drop?
Yeah. I know it's available in the game. I don't remember if it's specifically from this fight. We're not going to use it. It's a strength-based weapon, so we don't have any characters who care about strength. No, don't hit the robot with the Gugner! Okay, keep using lightning. We've got the barrier up from Aegis earlier. Wow. Personally, I've never had this much problems with Odin. Oh, hey, Lord Gruber. Lord Gruber in the chat says it can drop here, but it's also found in a nasty dungeon. So that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, you said that there was some really good loot in that dungeon.
Oh, it keeps killing my robot! And I wasn't able to get the Aegis off this time, so the ice is dealing damage.
Oh. Man, the RNG just is not favorable.
Not this time. Like I said, I don't usually have this much problems against Odin. We got our barrier this time. Oh, he's lightning. Nice. Oh, actually, that's what I'm doing wrong. I should be using Cat Claw. That's better than Laser Sword. B is fine. Oh, there goes Jay again. Lightning's good. Lightning's good. Nice. Odin down. That was a tough fight.
Oh, nice. GG. Oh,
Now,
and look at all that Magi too.
yeah, and now we are going to use our Pegasus for the only time. Warp right to Valhalla. And that's actually going to place us on the opposite side than we came in. What's a shortcut? Skip the rest of that dungeon. Oop. I held up a little too long. And now we are to Final World.
Oh. Is this, technically the final dungeon?
Well, the dungeon that we will be in is called Final Dungeon.
Yes.
Make a save here. Yeah, it's our Opel Apollo.
Hey, is he here to give us some more Magi?
No, he's got one, and we've got the other 76, and he says he wants them all. Come, my man! My favorite line that Apollo says in the game. So this minion is susceptible to Stone Gaze. Ooh, Tornado's rude. Did not hit on the Stone Gaze. Ooh, robot down. Stone Gaze? Stone Gaze? Got it.
Oh, clutch.
Yeah.
Nice.
But he's got all our friends! Leon, Flora, Lynn, Lynn's mom, Taro, and Hannah.
Wow, what a... I thought that Apollo was supposed to be a nice guy.
He seems so nice. Now he seems like a jerk.
Not so nice at all. Yeah.
But Dad's alive!
Wait a minute, didn't Dad blow himself up in like a big fiery kaboom of drama?
He really did.
A drama kaboom.
But he's actually alive. And, yeah, so now we're going to go through the final dungeon to get the 78th Magi, which only the Guardians knew about.
Oh, wow. There's all sorts of revelations. Apollo's a bad guy, and Dad's alive, and there's 78 Magi.
Yeah, so that also means that when Apollo tries to use the 77, it might not work as he intends.
Oh. Well, he deserves it, because he's a jerk.
He is. But no, right this way. So in this dungeon, it's very, very long, but
I guess it's appropriate. I guess it's appropriate to have a long dungeon after the long man stole all of your Magi.
That's true. It is also final dungeon, so it should be long.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's easy to get through because you always take the right fork in every road until you get this piece of gear here, the Arthur armor. And then after that, you always take the left fork in the road.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yep. So I don't make as many wrong turns in this as I do with the other dungeons. I technically don't need to get that Arthur armor. It's kind of a safety money pickup. Because during the Odin fight, if the Sleipnir drops meat, there's a glitch that gives you like 90% less money for that fight. And so you can make it up by selling that Arthur armor. I just have gotten into the habit of just doing it, because that way, whether or not I remember if I had gotten that glitch, I'll always have the money.
Got it.
So yeah, you see, there are watchers in this dungeon. So we got that watcher a lot earlier than them, so
okay.
This is where you find them in the wild.
Are those Lamia too? We fought those during the same...
Yeah, they were also one of the mini-bosses during the race.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of equipping. We are going to have headbutts replaced with Raji. Kate boots. There. Yeah, we don't have any Magi. Ability. Use that. And then safety save. For Warmech. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy 1, you probably recognize this.
I was gonna say, fans of Final Fantasy 1 should find this creature very familiar, and probably equally as scary.
Yeah, but Stone Gaze, like the minion, Warmech can be turned to stone.
Oh dang, yeah, look at that. Maybe not quite as scary as the original version.
Okay, but we got the Heart Magi. Now we've got a lot of shopping to do. Sell everything. Four laser guns. Yep. Human with laser gun. With robot. Headbutt. Laser sword. Laser sword. Now, it says that the robot has 99. It does go higher than that. Sell everything again. Buy 3 tents. And as many elixirs as I can get.
And elixirs will completely restore your items charges?
Not for humans, but for monsters, robots, and espers.
Okay.
Esper's abilities, not Esper's equipment.
Okay.
Come on.
I mean, doors are hard to open. It's okay. Man, he had a fancy palace in his own world, and now he's got a fancy palace up here.
Well, this palace was technically there before Apollo was here.
He just kind of took it over.
But this is where you're supposed to use all the Magi. And he says he's used it. Now, wait and see what happens. So, now, technically, doesn't have anything you can do. Technically, Apollo's going to be using the Aegis throughout like the first 5 rounds. But we've did it so that everybody except that second monster has something that they can do that bypasses shields. So the laser guns, the beam, the flare, all get by that Aegis. So.
Oh, okay. That's why you use the laser guns instead of like the cat claw.
Yeah, the cat claw would do more damage, but it would just get blocked by the Aegis.
Got it. Okay. What's special about the laser guns that it bypasses that?
It's just the thing, you know. Some attacks bypass it. I know, like the Excalibur sword. If we would have picked that up, I believe that gets by it.
Oh, okay.
The Gugner spear gets by it. The laser guns, the beam. Yeah, it's just a property of some attacks that they bypass shields. Now we switch to Cat Claw. For this turn, Apollo is going to attack with the Masmoon. Hitting K is not good. I wanted to hit A or B. So I think Dad is going to use a skill set. That timing wasn't great. It's supposed to be after the flare hits. Okay. Hopefully we'll be okay. This might be a reset. Oh, I think we're good. I think we're good.
Man, he doesn't look so good anymore.
We got through it. So we got all the Magi back. So now We're saying Dad's has been mortally injured, so we are going to use the Magi to save him, even though Dad says, whatever you do, don't do that. But we do, and it summons the goddess Isis, who is honestly the goddess of tech support. She revives Dad. Basically, there's a security system that's malfunctioning in the center of the world, so Isis is going to go help us sort that out.
Awesome. Yeah, so now we've got a god in our party.
We do. We are now in what's known as the Gauntlet. All of the fights in here are you can't run from.
Yeah, so we talked about how most of the game you just want to run away from battles, and there were a few battles in one of the earlier dungeons that we couldn't run from, and now none of the battles we can run from.
We are also going to be looking for... this giant is a good one. Giant, Demoload, or Sylph to drop meat, because we got to prep that second monster to do something for the end of the game.
And we mainly bought the elixirs for Isis,
Yes.
because she's going to be doing this flare attack that, as you can see, does like pretty massive damage, but she only has 5 charges on it.
That's exactly right. There's one left. If she runs out and we get into a fight, I don't think it's the end. I can probably scramble to do it, but would rather not.
Yeah, it's still doable. It just takes longer. Like that flare basically one-shots almost
everything. There's a few monsters that could survive it, but ooh, I would have really liked that Demoload meat. Three flares left. Two flares left. One flare left.
And this is a very long staircase that we're going down, or up? Down, I guess?
I think it's down. Okay, safety save. This is Tian Long. Checking A is fine. And now we get our butterfly.
So they're just very specific meats that you're looking for your second monster here?
Yeah, there's a couple ways of handling this. You can look for specific meats. She has 2 flares left. Or you can eat a bunch of meat and go for a specific monster and just hope you hit it. I'm going this way. If I get down to the end, there's going to be one more kind of boss monster like that Tianlung we found, Fenrir. If we get to Fenrir before I find it, then I'll just eat whatever meat and deal with it. But I'm hoping to find that Demolo Giant or Silk meat. Double tap. You see, our human is gaining max HP throughout this entire ordeal as well.
Yeah, human is just really skyrocketing up here in this area. Something that the flare didn't actually one-shot for once.
Yeah, those Sleipnirs are tough. Here's a chance. Here's Sylph. Maybe we can get a meat drop here. Nope. Okay, at this point I'm just going to eat whatever I can because here's Fenrir. So I'm just going to get one more fight. I'm going to basically fight until I get a meat drop now. Just take what I can get.
Of course, now you gotta walk around to actually find something.
Yeah, that's the risk with the strategy that I'm on. If I hit one of those, then I know I'm going to get a real optimal monster for the end fight. Now I just want something that's satisfactory, so any meat drop.
Yeah.
Now we got a rock, and now we will farm meat here at this Fenrir to elevate it to like a top-class monster. Even though it might not be the ideal one, so... One Fenrir, but we need a meat drop too, so... Yeah, Kay eat the Tianlung to become the madam, which was who we want Kay to be. Hey, meat first try. I actually don't know how good Susano O is. Right, to tier 5, but I wanted it to be higher than tier 5. Right? Tier 6 is where we're at for these, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Lord Goober in the chat giving me some info. I'm gonna keep eating this. Yes. Tier 5 is the Uber tier. Okay. I got my numbers mixed up. Musashi's are pretty tough, too. Oh, whoops. Where am I? Back to flow now.
What did you end up with on your second monster?
Oh, I even forget what it's called. Something with tusks.
Oh, it's pretty mean. Looks like some kind of wolf thing.
Yeah. Now it's Earth.
Just Earth. Okay.
Just Earth. This Quake, that might be good. Alright, here we are. This is the site of the final battle. One last save, and here we go. So Isis will take one, we take the other, so we don't get Isis for this fight. Hey, we got a strike first, not bad. Let's see if Quake hits this thing. Hey, that's pretty good damage. I like this Earth.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so we're past the first cannons. Now we're going to go into the small smasher phase, which can be blocked with the tank, so I switched to the tank for the human. Ooh, a miss even. That's even better. This arsenal fight's going well so far.
Yeah. This can be. I know this can be kind of a dicey fight, and if it comes down right to it, you can try to solo it or finish solo it with just your butterfly, your madame. But so far, it's going really smoothly.
Now we're in the final phase, the launching the smasher phase.
Yeah, this is where your madame really kind of shines eventually. If you lose the rest of your party.
Yeah, the fact that it absorbs hit points back is key.
Yeah, it's basically a drain attack.
And we did it! Time's on defeating Arsenal, so we are done. 157.31 today, not bad for trying to talk my way through it and everything like that. We'll finish off the gameplay here, but...
Yeah, GG!
Oh, gotta talk to Isis here. Best to stay back and repair things. Like I said, God of Tech Support. So...
Yep, so she basically says that the heroes won't see her again, but their descendants might, and they say that they will make sure that their descendants know about her.
Exactly. Okay, and now that's all I can do. Now the rest is just, Dad, Jane's voice told me to stay here and wait. I guess Jane is Mom, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, she's always just referred to as Mom with us, right?
But that's the game. That's Final Fantasy Legend 2. Yeah, I want to thank you, anybody, for watching, and hope you have a good one. I'm going to stop the recording now, but I'll keep the stream up for just a little bit longer, okay?
All right.
Recording
Well, thanks.
down. And yeah, this is a submission video that we're going to use, so hopefully you take it. But this is what we'll offer you.